name's Freddy. I just moved into the neighborhood. I'm supposed to tell everyone about it.
Oh, hi. Well, nice to meet... Say... Nice glove. Hey, what's up, survivors? Welcome to another mind-blowing episode of Zombie Go Boom. I'm Chuck Marie, and today I present you 5 brutal horror movie weapons in real life. Let's get started.
Using real-life settings, we put the weapons, everyday objects, and theories to the test, empowering you with the skills and knowledge you need to survive. Zombie Go Boom. Kick undead ass.
The first improvised weapon on the list is something that you would more than likely see your grandma using to make you a Christmas sweater. But if you know what you're doing, it can be used to great effect against any bad guy or monster. Let's see what a knitting needle can do to Michael Myers. Alright, and just so that you guys know, underneath this Michael Myers mask is a Tim head. And for you guys that don't know what a Tim head is, it is a scientifically accurate head analog. It's a simulant, and it's 5 layers of realism. There is a skin layer, a flesh layer, a bone layer, and the cranial cavity, all anatomically accurate, all made as close as you can get synthetically without having to test it on the real thing.
Alright, next we've got these giant needles. Now, in the movie, you see Michael Myers get stabbed in the neck with a needle that's just comically huge, and we couldn't find one, so these are the biggest ones we could find. Now, we're gonna start out with this knitting needle and see what it does. Alright, so the needle went through the mask and into the side of the neck here, and we're pretty sure that it's close enough to say that it's either in the trachea or the carotid artery. So if Mike Myers is human, he's definitely dead. Alright, now we're gonna try the same strike with the upholstery needle. Alright, so the upholstery needle actually went all the way through the throat. You see it sticking out the other side there. And it's going in at a spot where you're either going to bleed to death or you're going to drown in your own blood. Either way, it's going to take longer than the other needle because the puncture wound isn't as wide.
The next weapon on our list is our trusty axe. Now, you've seen this bad boy annihilate the undead time and time again because it is meant to chop through hard targets like strong wood. If it can do that, then it shouldn't have a problem chopping into Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers, regardless of where you strike them. Let's check it out. This kill is at the end of part 3. Jason gets it with an axe through the mask into his forehead, and it stays stuck there. Pretty much a brutal kill. Let's see if we can recreate it. Alright, now it's time for the axe to the forehead, and we have a couple of questions. 1, will Jason's mask save him from the axe to his frontal bone? And 2, how hard do I have to strike to get through it? Because again, the harder you strike, the least accurate you are. So I'm going to be giving him a medium strength strike just to make sure that I get it right here. Alright, so as we can see, this is definitely a kill. We'll see how much whenever we take the mask off. But one thing I wanted to mention is the fact that the axe did not get stuck, which is a great thing because you get to keep your weapon afterwards. Alright, that's brutal. So not only did it cut right through the mask, as you can see, and it just messed this up, which is actually metal, but it went deep through the frontal bone. And that's definitely a kill. There is no question about it. It went straight through into the cranial cavity and bounced right out. Definitely a kill. I mean, even if you're a zombie. If you're enjoying this episode so far and you'd like to support the channel without spending any money whatsoever, there are 3 things that you can do.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Now back to the show.
Alright, in this scene you see Jamie Lee Curtis's character chop Michael Myers' head off with one strike with an axe. Now, I don't know if she's some kind of superhuman or super accurate or what, but I'm not sure if that's possible, but we've got an axe, we've got Michael Myers, let's try it out.
So we definitely did not get a clean decap like you saw Jamie Lee Curtis do in the movie, but we got something that's actually almost cooler, I think. Basically, Charles cut here, and it cut all the way through the vertebrae, and I don't know, I'd say about a quarter of the way through. It's definitely a kill if you're human, but what makes this an extraordinarily brutal kill is that it's not just the damage from the axe hitting the neck, it's the damage, the percussive damage that the axe, this heavy axe, was able to do on this neck, because you might just see one injury here, but there's actually an even more massive injury right there. And that is a broken neck. So, again, hit here, cut deep into the spinal cord and the spine, and also snapped the neck and broke the neck so badly that the bone jetted out. This is what you would call a compound fracture, which is disgusting, and I've never seen it on a neck before. That's brutal, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 3 on our list is the machete. Now, there are a bunch of different kinds of machetes, but the one you most commonly see in horror movies is the Latin machete. Again, this tool is meant to separate hard targets, so being able to split Jason in 2 shouldn't be much of a problem. Let's see if that's true.
Alright, next up is the machete. You see Jason get decapitated and, hit with this thing multiple times throughout all the series of all the Friday the 13th movies, so I'd say this one definitely merits a test in real life. So let's see if it'll actually kill a monster.
Alright, for this one we're gonna take Jason's mask off, because in the movie, Corey Feldman had taken his mask off before chopping him horizontally to the temporal and orbital bone. And it went in pretty deep, and then it slid a little bit. So we're gonna see if we can recreate the same kind of thing.
right, I'm over 6 feet, okay? And in the movie, a little kid made that strike, and his strike was completely horizontal, and it got stuck in the side of the skull like that, right? And like I said, I'm over 6 foot, and it was really hard for me to try to keep the blade horizontal. Okay, as you can see, it went into the skull at sort of an angle, and I even missed a little bit. And also the machete did not get stuck because the blade is so thin and it's curved. So when you swing, it just goes in and just slides right out. So it's not gonna get stuck. All right, basically that strike would be a kill if you can pull it off, but it's not gonna look like it did in the movies. So let's go for the decap.
All right, now we're back to part 2 of Friday the 13th before Jason donned that iconic hockey mask and before he took all those growth hormones because he wasn't a giant back then. Also, he did wear something, but it was basically a pillowcase with a hole in it, which might actually save him from a decapitation. You see, Charles, with this machete, would be easily able to cut off the head of a Tim or Ivan head. But with this added loose fabric, it's gonna be very problematic. What do you think is gonna happen?
I think that the machete is going to break the neck, but I don't think it's going to get through the flesh because of the fabric in the way.
Yeah, it has to cut the fabric before it cuts the flesh, so it's gonna be a very difficult strike. But if anybody can do it, it's this guy.
Yeah.
All right, so the problem here is how many layers does Charles have to get through? That's 1, here's 2, here's 3, 4 layers of fabric, and then finally we get to the skin layer, which he cut all the way through the skin, all the way through the flesh, and then it was completely deflected by the C1 vertebrae right there. And you might be asking, C1, what happened? Shouldn't Charles have hit a little bit lower? Yes, but that's not really his fault. The problem is you can't tell where the neck is when there's fabric covering it. So he hit where he thought the neck was, ended up being a little bit high. Now he knows that the neck is actually lower than he thought it was because of the fabric covering it up. Are you ready to try it again?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Question is, could Jason have survived that hit? Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so this is as close to a decapitation as you can get without cutting the entire head off. You see, there's no more bone holding the head. It's just flesh and skin. So if I take this knife and I just cut, that was it. Just flesh, no bone left. So, would that have killed Jason? Duh. Number 4 on our list is the incomparable 2x4. As long as you hit edge side and not flat side, this weapon is absolutely devastating. Remember, if you concentrate your kinetic force into a smaller surface area, you do a lot more damage. That said, don't mess around with this stuff. I know cartoons and movies make it seem like something like a 2x4 is not very dangerous, but it is. And you don't want to accidentally injure someone. And to prove just how dangerous it is, let's see what a 2x4 can do to Michael Myers.
Alright, in this scene you see Michael Myers get beat in the head a bunch of times with a 2x4. So we've got the 2x4, we've got Michael Myers, so let's put them together and see what happens. Die, Michael, die! Take that mask off. Holy shiza, that's insane. Let's bring it down so we can see what's going on. Wow. Yeah, I would say that if Mike Myers were human, he would not be able to withstand a 2x4 attack.
No, not at all. James actually was saying that if Michael Myers could withstand something like this, it would have to be Wolverine. So he's still human, but he has super rapid healing abilities and an adamantium skull. Unless that's the case, you're dead. You're just gone into I guess Mike Myers would probably go to Helltown. Helltown.
Frog goes to Helltown. Awesome movie.
And by the way, all of the art that you see behind me was created by Zombie Go Boom fans, so if you want your art to be shown on Zombie Go Boom, make sure you check out our community tab or share it to our Facebook page. Last and certainly least is Freddy Krueger's finger blade gloves. Now ironically, this is the only item on the list that's not intended to be a weapon, and yet it does the least amount of damage because it has a lot of problems. For example, your fingers tend to go back whenever you strike, the blades are weirdly shaped, etc. And because of that, we almost didn't include it in this video. But since it was so freaking brutal in the movies, we decided to let you guys check it out. Special thanks to Mauricio Garcia for sending it to us. Enjoy.
My glove features 4 6-inch heat-treated surgical steel blades coated with rust, sharp enough to get the job done, but dull enough to make it painful. But will it make a zombie go boom?
Alright, first up, a stab to the back of the head.
I'll see you in your nightmares.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, let's see what we got here. Can you stick it out?
That's what she said.
Little stuck?
That's what she said.
That didn't even go an inch into the skull. That is a fail. That is an
What are you
absolute...
talking about?
It's pretty good. Let's try a slash, huh? All right, the 4-bladed slash to the front of the face. Well, if you are a human being, this will hurt like hell. Not only that, but you're gonna have a really cool, like, bad guy scar for the rest of your life. But even if you're a human being, this is not a kill shot. If you're a zombie, this is definitely not a kill shot. In fact, the zombie didn't care at all. So, I'm sorry, man, but this thing is just not working.
What if we just stab him in the eyes?
That's a really good idea. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
I'm about an inch in. If you're a human being, you are blind. If you're a zombie, nothing happened. I'm sorry, neighbor. This is ZGB disapproved.
I'll show you disapprove.
If you have any suggestions of what weapons you want to see next, let us know in the comments. And if you want to watch any episodes featured in this video in their entirety, check out the playlist in the description. Well, that's it for 5 brutal horror movie weapons in real life. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, please punch the living crap out of that like button. And we'll see you next time.